Hi boys and girls, today we are going to do some math with some tens frames. I have some giant tens frames on the floor and our tens frames pieces. And remember, tens frames can help you add and subtract numbers. Right now we have two tens frames, each one is worth 10. So that means we can add and subtract within 20 using these. So I have a word problem on the board that we are going to solve together. I'm going to point to the words. I want you all to read with me. Ready? Lucy's team scored 20 points in their first basketball game and 12 in their second. How many more points did they score in their first game? Now remember, when we do word problems, we need to underline the important things and circle the question. So we're going to go back to the problem and underline what is important. Okay, read it with me again. Ready? Lucy's team scored 20 points in their first basketball game and 12 in their second. Think about that. Is that important? Yes, that is important. So we are going to underline the first sentence. Okay, then we need to circle the question. How many more points did they score in their first game? So we circle that. And the words how many more tells us that we need to subtract. What two numbers are we going to subtract? If we're looking for how many more points they scored in the first game than the second game, then we need to look at how many points they scored first. So in the first game they scored 20, so we're going to write the number 20. And we're subtracting. And in the second game, we underlined that they scored 12 points. So our subtraction problem right now is 20 minus 12. So guys, we're going to use our tens frame to help us solve this. So right now we have 20 if we put all of our pieces on the tens frame. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Remember, each tens frame is worth 10. Okay guys, so right now we have 20 and we're taking away 12. We're subtracting 12. So I want you to count with me and I'm going to take 12 pieces away. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So how many pieces do we have left on the tens frame? Remember, each line is worth 5, so we have 5 here, 6, 7, 8. So that means 20 minus 12 equals 8. So the subtraction number sentence for this problem is 20 minus 12 equals 8. And that means that they scored 8 more points on the first game than they did the second game. Okay, boys and girls, let's do another problem. Remember, we're going to read the question first. Then we're going to go back and underline the things that are important and circle the question. Read with me, guys. Ready? Sam made 15 cookies. He ate 7. How many cookies does Sam have left? All right, guys, so now let's go through and underline everything that is important. Let's look at that first sentence. Sam made 15 cookies. Is that important? Yes, that is important because that tells us how many cookies he started with. So we are going to underline that sentence. Okay, look at the second sentence. He ate 7. Do you think it's important to know that he ate 7 of those cookies? Yes, that's important, so we need to underline it. Now let's look at the question. How many cookies does Sam have left? Okay guys, circle the question. So it's asking how many he has left. If it's asking how many cookies he has left, what does that tell us to do with the numbers? It tells us to subtract them. We want to figure out how many cookies are left over. And remember, when we subtract, we always start with the biggest number. Right here it says he starts with 15 cookies. So that means our big number is 15. So we are taking away from 15. So we have 15 cookies, and then he ate 7. So that means we are solving the problem 15 minus 7. And guys, one way that we can solve this problem is by using tens frames. So we are going to use our tens frames again. We're starting with the big number, 15. So right now we are going to put 15 our pieces on the tens frames. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So guys, right now I have 15 on my tens frames. And so these are representing the 15 cookies that Sam made. So it told us that Sam ate 7 cookies. So we are going to take away 7 pieces from our tens frames. Ready? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we had 15, we took 7 away, and now we're looking to see how many we have left. So these are going to represent how many cookies are left over. So count these with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 15 minus 7 equals 8. And since the answer is 8, that means that Sam has 8 cookies left. Okay guys, let's do another problem. Remember, read the question with me, and we're going to go back and underline what's important. Ready? Sally picked 6 flowers. Sue picked 11 flowers. How many flowers did they pick all together? Okay guys, now let's go back and underline the important parts of our question. Let's look at the first sentence. Sally picked 6 flowers. Do you think that's important? Yes, it is. So we are going to underline Sally picked 6 flowers. Let's look at the next sentence. Sue picked 11 flowers. Is that important? Yes, that is important. So we are going to underline Sue picked 11 flowers. Now we are at the question. We are going to circle the question to help us remember what we are looking for when we're solving the problem. The question says, how many flowers did they pick all together? Now guys, the word all together is telling us that we need to add. It's telling us to combine everything. We want to know how many all together. So if we're adding, think about what numbers are we adding? So Sally picked 6 flowers and Sue picked 11 flowers. So we are adding 6 plus 11. 6 and 11 are going to be our add-ins in this problem because those are the two numbers we are adding together. So we are going to use our tens frames for addition. So we can use tens frames when we are adding numbers and when we are subtracting numbers. So first we're going to put down Sally's flowers. So it says Sally picked 6 flowers. And the blue side of our pieces are going to represent Sally's flowers. So I want you to count out 6 flowers with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 pieces represent the flowers that Sally picked. And now it tells us that Sue picked 11 flowers. So guys, we are going to use the green side of our pieces, and we are going to put out 11 because Sue picked 11 flowers. So these are going to represent the flowers that Sue picked. Count with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So guys, we are adding 6 plus 11. Now, a cool thing about a 10 frame, we know that one whole 10 frame equals 10, which means that each side of the tens frame equals 5. So we have one tens frame that is already filled up. So we have 10, and we have a whole line filled up, which means there's 5 more. So 10 plus 5 is what? 15. And then we're going to count on from 15 2 times because we have 2 more pieces here. Ready? 15, 16, 17. So 6 plus 11 equals 17. So since our addition number sentence is 6 plus 11 equals 17, that means altogether they picked 17 flowers. Okay, boys and girls, let's do one more problem. Let's read the question together first, and then we'll go back and look for the important things in the question. Ready? Read with me. Jack had 9 marbles. John had 5 marbles. How many marbles did they have altogether? All right, guys, so let's go back and underline the important parts of our question. Let's look at the first one. Jack had 9 marbles. Is that important? Yes, that's an important part of our question. So we are going to underline that Jack had 9 marbles. Let's look at the next sentence. John had 5 marbles. Is that important? Yes, so we are going to underline it. And let's look at our question. We're going to circle it. How many marbles did they have altogether? So guys, remember, what does the word altogether tell us to do? That's right, the word altogether tells us that we need to add the numbers together. Altogether means that we are putting everything together that we have. So we need to figure out how many marbles they have altogether. So it says that Jack has 9 marbles. So 9 will be one of our add-ins. Plus, John had 5 marbles. So the other add-in is 5. So we are solving the problem 9 plus 5. And guys, we are going to use our tens frame. So remember, a tens frame is a good way. It's a good strategy to use when you are adding and subtracting numbers. So it says that Jack has 9 marbles. So we are going to use our green pieces to represent Jack's marbles. So I want you all to count with me. We are going to put out 9 marbles. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these green circles right here represent Jack's 9 marbles. And then it tells us that John had 5 marbles. So we are going to use the blue pieces to represent John's 5 marbles. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So guys, we are going to use the tens frames to help us add these numbers together. So we already know that when we fill up a whole tens frame, that's equal to 10. This whole tens frame right here is filled up. So we have 10, and we are going to count on from 10 so that we can solve what 9 plus 5 is. Ready? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 9 plus 5 equals 14. Our addition number sentence would be 9 plus 5 equals 14. So that means that they had 14 marbles altogether. Thanks for watching, guys. You all did awesome.